here we go. We're going live. Hello, everyone. We're live. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I see James is here and Rebecca and somebody else. If you're here, say hello in the chat. So, hey, Bob, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
I'm so excited. My teacher interviews have become so diverse lately, and it was mostly just VIP kid teachers talking about VIP kid, and now I have VIP kid teachers talking about all of the things they do in this amazing job and in this amazing world. So I'm super excited to have Bob today. And Bob, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, sure. I'm a teacher. I work VIP Kid and Outschool and other online classes. I've been a magician for just as long as I've been teaching. So I enjoy talking about magic all the time, to the chagrin of many people that I know. But but I just enjoy surprising people, and I just enjoy talking about wonder.
Yeah.
And teaching, I enjoy the upper 4th, 5th, 6th grade, junior high, and high school. But I've taught 2nd through 12th grade. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'll tell you more in a few minutes.
Yes, we'll definitely hear about all of the things. Because today we're talking about how teachers create wonder in the classroom. And I'm not sure if you know it already, but Bob and his daughter Rebecca were on my channel before, and he just has amazing things to say and to get kids involved and engaged. And so I'm really looking forward to this. Bob is getting ready for his first TED Talk, which I didn't even know that there's a huge process to to even earn your spot on a TED Talk. Would that be the way to say it there? You have to apply and everything for a TED Talk. So
you apply, they test you, they interview you, they ask you what you're going to talk about, they see your outline, they see videos of you, they see if you're worthy enough to be broadcasted around the world under the college's or university's name.
Excellent. So today he is going to show us his presentation. I'm super excited for this. I'm just going to hang back here and listen and let him do his thing. And we would love, if you have questions, that would be a great time to put them in the chat, and Bob can get to them after his presentation. So are you ready to get started, Bob?
Right. So yeah, please do write your questions down as I do this. It's going to be about a 15, maybe 18-minute talk. But during that time, I hope to spark your interest and your wonder and your curiosity, and then type those questions in, because it'll be a Q&A after I finish.
Yeah. Love it. Good. All right, take it away, Bob.
All right. So now, this is my pocket of wonder. Well, that weight loss program really worked, didn't it? Well, no, so now I want you to do this. I want you to dig into your pocket, okay, and take some coins out. Take some coins. I have a lot of coins in here. And I want you to take those coins. I'll wait. Okay, no, take the coins out, and just go ahead and then toss them on the floor. And then stand on those coins. I got coins all over the floor. Okay. And now that reminds me of the most powerful, timely metaphor. I'm standing in the midst of change. Now, deeper in my pocket, I keep a paw removed from a stuffed bear. A little gruesome, I know. But when I'm overwhelmed with all the confusion, I need to pause and take a breath and reflect on why I'm involved in education and the part I play to improve the minds of students. In my pocket of wonder, I also keep a small light to remind me that when things look dim, I could help shine some light if I just lighten a bit. Lining the bottom, folded in my pocket, I have a playing card, a joker. It has the power to transform things. And it's a reminder that whenever things get hard, I could transform it into something better. I could also laugh at the absurdities of life and not take myself too seriously. So I call this talk, How Teachers Create Wonder in the Classroom, or How Teachers Are the True Magicians. My name is Bob Bishop, and I am a magician and a teacher. And my journey of wonder paralleled my passion with magic. Now, like many boys, I had a fascination with magic tricks, and to this day, the number 793 is very powerful to me. 793 in the Dewey Decimal System marked magic, magicians, and nearby were games and puzzles and chess, and all these topics played a large influence in my life. And over the past 40 years, I've shared many of these ideas to thousands of wide-eyed students across the US. This interest eventually led me to 3 visits in South Africa and Botswana. And over the past 5 years, I witnessed not only the wonders of Africa, but I also discovered that because of the missing generation of parents that had died of the HIV/AIDS virus, there are now millions of orphaned children. I also realized that some of the lowest math scores in the world were there in Africa. Mathematics, often seen as the gateway subject, has kept many from entering college. I also noticed that many students with little or no wonder in education. So over a period of 3 years, I brought my Wonder of Math programs to the students of South Africa and Botswana. Wonder was unleashed in my heart thanks to magic and math. Others might find wonder in music, in history, literature, and nature. In fact, we all have our own story of wonder. Sadly, there was a time when one of my daughters lost her wonder. Many years ago, I wish I had a real magic wand when our family doctor told me that my daughter was going to die. As a child, she was filled with wonder. Like, what would it be like to save the endangered tigers and to be an Egyptologist or an actress or a singer? She was now 16 years old, and she was dying from a black hole she fell into. Molested by a family friend for many years and again unacquired to her, she sought to control the pain with self-harm, eating disorders, and chemical abuse. She lost her wonder. She was in survival mode, hopeless, helpless, feeling everything too deeply and feeling nothing, numbed by trauma, crawling in the dark forest of despair. We flew her to a care center where she began her long journey to wellness. Years later, she tattooed the word forever on her wrist to declare her decision to forever flee from self-destructive behavior. The true magic of recovery and healing came with love, counseling, and prayer. And as she began to heal, she started repainting her life. She was feeling wonder again with new laughs and dreams and fresher memories. And over the years, she created an overpainting with a brush and paint of a life of newfound adventures. And actually, she discovered her new wonder in painting. A quote that describes this transformation is by E.E. Cummings, who said, "We do not believe in ourselves until someone reveals that deep inside of us there's something valuable, worth listening to, worthy of our trust. Once we believe in ourselves, we can risk curiosity, wonder, spontaneous delight, or any experience that reveals the human spirit." And with encouragement, from her heart emerged hope and extraordinary wonder. Hope and wonder returned to my daughter, just as it did for many in Botswana and South Africa. And what I will tell you today will bring healing, hope, and wonder to the world we find ourselves. My message is summed up in this phrase: teachers are the true magicians. Okay. Now, take this imaginary journey with me for just a moment. Imagine you are a teacher walking into a classroom. The students are on the edge of their seats. Excitement fills the air. What ideas would you produce in us today? You tell stories of wonder that bring life to the otherwise stale concepts. You do not perform a magic trick, but instead you evoke the magic in us. We want to learn the secret knowledge of English and math and science. You entice us to explore and ask questions. Your words are, I believe in you. You can do this. And we all want to be a teacher because of you. And because of you, we now know that we can do marvelous things by asking questions. That understanding is there for the asking. One of these teachers was my 7th grade English teacher who believed in me. I had already experienced plenty of teachers who were blessed with a knack of sucking the wonder out of the extraordinary. But in this one class, I experienced wonder because the atmosphere was exploratory and enjoyable. I remember the magic my teacher produced in me and unleashed in me. I discovered that I could write poetry with thoughts and language skills beyond the normal 7th grade level. I was creative. I was a writer and a poet, and I learned to love writing poetry, and I produced more in her class than any other class. She was my wonder champion. Fast forward 50 years. For many years, I hung a sign on my door of my own classroom that said, in this classroom, you are invited to reach your potential. You are free to wonder and ask questions. But little is written about the power and the magic of wonder, and seems to be lacking in the current educational system. Something of the soul of education is missing. What's missing? Is the magic of wonder. But teachers are magicians. How are teachers like magicians? They are a master of ceremonies, introducing the learners to a spectacle. They create a receptive atmosphere. They influence the emotional state of students. They show that within any topic, in every topic, there are mysteries. They use words to create anticipation and inspiration. They create memorable moments. They reveal and evoke wonder. They motivate minds to dream big and change the world. See, both magicians and teachers are workers of wonder. Both seek to awaken curiosity and motivation in others. True magician teachers need to show students that success does not use wishful, magical thinking. Instead, it requires action. True magician teachers inspire determination, persistence, tenacity, toughness, endurance, resilience in students. This is the magic of grit. Author Robert Fanny echoes this when he asked, is there magic in the world? Certainly, but it's not the kind of magic written about in fantasy stories. It's the kind of magic that comes from ideas, and by hard work it often takes to make them real. These are the words of a true magician. The power of a teacher is, as Blaine Lee, author of The Power Principle, says, the great leaders are like the best conductors. They reach beyond the notes to reach the magic in the players. Now, this is what magician teachers produce in the students. This is a vivid example. A while back, my wife and I were in an outside shopping mall that exhibited a massive water fountain with changing colored lights. And once an hour, music would play and the choreographic dancing waters would stop shoppers in their tracks. Texting stops, distractions fade, the arms unfold, the defenses go down, the emotions are touched. And then one evening, a little boy climbed upon the rocks, climbed and began to conduct the entire spectacle as if he was controlling the waters, facial gestures and enthusiasm. See, there's the magic. See, he immersed himself into the experience with abandon and believing he was controlling the dancing waters. Not only is wonder in this boy's imagination, but has amazing benefits in the classroom and beyond. Now, here's a surprising scientific study that demonstrates this. Sophie Van Stum of the University of Edinburgh in UK and her co-authors wondered if curiosity might be an important factor of academic performance. Curiosity is basically a hunger for exploration, von Stump says. And if you're intellectually curious, you'll go home and you'll read the books. If you're perceptually curious, you might go traveling to foreign countries and try different foods. Both, she thought, could help you do better in school. The researchers performed a meta-analysis gathering the data from about 200 studies with a total of 50,000 students. And they found that curiosity did indeed influence academic performance. In fact, it had quite a large effect, about the same as conscientiousness. When put together, conscientiousness and curiosity had as big effect on performance as intelligence. Teachers have a wonderful opportunity to reveal curiosity in their students, to engage them, to help them become independent, lifelong learners. You see, teachers are magicians. Every student needs an adult as a guide and a cheerleader in this growth of wonder. Now, in her book, The Sense of Wonder, Rachel Carson writes how she tries to awaken the wonder in her nephew, Roger. She says, if a child is to keep alive his inborn sense of wonder, he needs the companionship of at least one adult who can share it, rediscovering with him the joy, the excitement, and mystery of the world we live in. And then there's Herman. Herman gave his 5-year-old son a compass to entertain him while he was sick. Little did he know that this compass would set aflame a lifelong journey into wonder. His name was Albert Einstein. And when his father gave him a compass, this led him to say later that there must be a magical force behind things, something deeply hidden. Einstein spent his life trying to find this wondrous magical force. And then there's Melville, who was always reaching his son Richie, always teaching him to look deeper into the obvious. Instead of asking, what did you learn at school today? Richie's parents asked, what did you ask at school today? And their son, Richard Feynman, became one of the most respected scientists of the 20th century. Teachers, parents, adults can be the magicians who plant the seeds of wonder. With skill, they carefully cultivate the fragile flower, and from this grows lifelong passions, focus, and motivation. The magician teacher is the one who helps students release their wonder to this world. Now, this is the true calling of a teacher. All right, here are some ideas to put up your sleeve to help you be a wonder wizard. The foundational magical secret is to develop your students' IQ. Oh, IQ, intelligent questions. Frank Kingdom says questions are the creative acts of intelligence. But a teacher cannot encourage questions solely by standing in front of the class and ask, are there any questions? No, there's so much pressure forcing students not to ask questions that it can't be conquered by a single act. Further, by resolutely answering our students' questions with quick facts, we diminish their capacity to wonder. We have been trained, and thus we inadvertently train others to seek quick explanations to our curiosity. In my 30 years of teaching, I have seen many students come to class with a reservoir of information. They come to show what they know, but not to question and grow. Many are information answering machines rather than wanderers. And perhaps we are the cause of that. And working with an answers-based education system and in cultures where questioning may be a sign of weakness, teachers must create a welcoming conditions conducive to inquiry. They will soon discover that curiosity and questions are the magnets that draw students toward learning. And to their surprise, schools will find that wonder and questions transcend all technology or buzzwords in education. An unforgettable experience happened when I visited a farm school in South Africa. I was guided to the computer room right after I did some programs for the kids. I was shocked to hear that a school of 1,000 students in the middle of nowhere had a computer room. But to my dismay, the computers were more than 10 years old. They had never been turned on. There was no internet. No one there knew how to use them. I'm not blaming the school, but it might have been better for that philanthropist to have given training in the powerful skills of wonder and asking questions. And this has been an ironic symbol of the importance of asking questions. Neil Postman says, learning to use a computer isn't nearly as important as learning how to ask smart questions. And once students have learned to ask relevant and appropriate questions, they have learned how to learn. And no one can keep them from learning whatever they want or need to know. I would further add that questions are the most important app we have. And yet we do not seem to value questioning as much as we should in our classrooms. It's the answers we reward, but the questions are barely tolerated. On my classroom wall, I have a poster that says, thinking is what you do when you don't know the answer. Neil Armstrong once said, mystery creates wonder, and wonder is the basis of man's desire to understand. I would say, don't Google it, grapple with it. Make a questioning environment your goal for this year. Keep track of the questions in the class. Make a wonder wall of wonderful questions asked. Remember, when teachers ask questions, this turns the students into passive answerers. But when the students ask questions, the students are active, engaged, and on fire. Questioning skills are the fuel to lifelong independent learning. Without strong questioning skills, students are just passengers on somebody else's tour bus. They may be going on the highway, but someone else is doing the driving. Now let's try something right now, okay? All of you are gonna have to say this out loud. So here we go. Let's try a little call and response. Now, here we go. Understanding is there for the asking. Now, I'm gonna say, I wonder. And as soon as I say, I wonder, you're gonna say, what if? And I'm gonna fill this in. Okay. Oh, 400 of you, here we go. I wonder, what if all teachers would strive to help students find their wonder? Let's try this. I wonder, what if students are no longer afraid of asking questions? I wonder, what if a teacher has more questions, is there more questions about this? And the room is filled with smiling faces and waving hands. I wonder, what if good grades means asking wonder-filled questions, not just regurgitating right answers? We are standing in the midst of change. We need to pause and think, what would make a deep difference in education? We need to shed some light on the situation. We need to be reminded that whatever we are dealt, we can transform it into something better. Teachers, parents, we are the magicians. We are the wizards. We are the conjurers of wonder, the cultivators of curiosity, the creators of inquiry, who bless our children with an appetite, or better yet, a fire to motivate the quest and to wonder. Will you be that person? Thank you, guys. Thanks.
Wow. Did I interrupt you? I am just.
Oh, you did fine.
This is great. Wow, I have chills. I read in the chat box, somebody else said they had chills too. Somebody said this sounds like I feel like I'm watching a TED Talk. We're so glad you feel that way. He is actually getting ready to do one. So
I don't have the big TED behind me yet.
Right? Not yet, not yet. You just got the Casey channel right now, but we're working on it.
Okay, so now please, I hope I provoked some questions.
Yes, let me get some questions ready for you. I've been trying
Be
to
back
take
in 2
notes.
seconds.
What's that? I lost him.
Well, that was 3 seconds.
Oh, Brick Girls Go Stateside said, incredible, so inspiring. Tamara said, wow, 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 that is completely amazing. Cindy said, amen, preach, love, love, love. Asking questions myself. Absolutely, I have learned this year for myself to keep. Yeah. Great. So feel free to put questions. I have questions. He is coming back in. So I have some questions for you already. Bob, are you ready? Oh,
Yeah.
Rebecca said water break. So for those of you that don't know, I don't know if I told you at the beginning or if you were here at the beginning, but this is Bob Bishop. He is Rebecca's dad. So thanks for coming out. If you didn't get to see the beginning, you're welcome to rewatch this anytime and still add questions. If you add a question while you're rewatching, I can send it to Bob as well too.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. Let's see. I have some questions for you. So you went to Africa, and what other experiences did you have while you were in Africa?
So our first trip was Taiwan, and that was many years ago. And then we went to Thailand to do the math and magic programs. Oh my goodness! So I had never been to Thailand before, and so I checked on the internet. My problem. And I checked Facebook. Yeah. Do people in Thailand speak English? And they said, oh, no problem. They're all taught English at an early age. They weren't. So my big act full of American jokes, the puns and play on words, was useless to them. And so as the programs went further and further on, they said, yeah, you got to 3 programs today. And it was very hot and I'm sweating everything. And I'm going, okay. It got more visual and less verbal every time I did this because they had no idea. And so the superintendent, who had about 100 schools to watch, was saying, okay, now you'll be translating for Bob today. And go, the teachers would be so shocked and could have time to keep up with me to do that. So I got more visual. And by that time, the superintendent, who's heard my program maybe 30 times, was actually said, no. I'll do this part, the climax. I'll say the climax. And I would say just maybe a sentence, and he would go on for a long, long time going, I think he's adding to my program.
What program is this?
I mean, it's just funny. And that was in Thailand, but in South Africa, we did many programs also. We did one program was for an art school. And so we all have these misconceptions that Africa is all poor. And when I was there in South Africa, they said, we're going to set you up with some farm schools. We're going to have you speak to some wealthy schools, some private schools, all the different types of schools. So they would know what Bob can speak to all these different levels of 2nd grade all the way to college, the high school level. And so I'd be invited to go to all these different schools and just, very fun. There's a whole movies to remember, but we did one magic trick there. I'll tell you this and it will go on. There's one magic trick, and we had to tell them that this is not witchcraft. I mean, I would do, make a handkerchief appear and disappear. And so my assistant, he would interrupt my program and say, can I show a magic trick? And I said, after some reluctance, this is all practiced. Right. He did a magic trick with a vanishing handkerchief. And let me tell you, the kids would watch and they would fall out of their chairs, go, oh, and of course I would turn my back and like Abbott and Costello, I would play act what he's doing over here. And he would be explaining to the audience. Of course, I could hear my back turned. They go, oh, and they would laugh at the secret. It was so simple. And I would come around and go, what? And I would be the one who's fooled. And he would explain, now, what you're going to see today for the next hour, it looks like magic, but it's all done with mathematics. That's the secret behind this. And so that just sort of let them in on it, right, and helped them understand the mathematics. and I can still do magic tricks and things with numbers and those type of things. These experiences are so memorable. What happened on these trips.
And you were able to take your kids, right? You told me Rebecca helped you while on a trip once.
Well, this particular one, this is my other daughter, Brittany, who helped. So we would go, sometimes the three of us. The first trip to Taiwan, it was just my wife and I. With the other kids are at home by themselves, but they were older by then, and we called them up every night.
Now, did Rebecca get herself in trouble being by herself? Or no, just kidding, Rebecca.
Well, that's a whole other story. We won't even go into that. No, we won't go
We'll
there.
Later.
But often we would take the three of us, so my wife and I and Brittany, and but then we'd take another person, so we had four, and we wanted to take somebody who could experience that. We took one fellow. Both people we took were very bashful in front of people. And I said, well, that will change.
Yeah.
Today we're speaking in front of 500 people. Today we're speaking in front of 1,000 people. Right. We'll practice this over and over. And they came back and they were ready for anything. So it was fun training them and teaching them how to speak in front of so many people. Yeah.
Oh, Rebecca said I helped him with stateside school shows.
Yes.
Wasn't someone typing a book for you?
Yeah. So we were gone. I had another program I was doing. I wrote a book on creativity. Sounds like I should do an online course for you guys. Okay.
Hey.
But, okay. What if I did that? An online course on wonder and creativity in the classroom, and what you could do to teach better.
Awesome.
Get check marks. The amount of people would take that if I actually taught that. That would
let us know in the chat. What do you think? I mean, I'm taking a course on how to make courses. So for me, you all know.
Okay, now we want the courses.
Right?
I would love to do that. Since I've written this. So anyway, while I was in Taiwan with my wife, she had the job of typing my book up. So I still have this book today, but it's all typeset, because of her. So I came back and said, Rebecca, how can I repay you for studying these? Every page is perfect. I know. Let's work on the PowerPoints now. So I still haven't paid her back fully. Oh, it was amazing.
Let's see. Thrive with Mary. Hey, Mary. She said, what an amazing way to help bring wonder to the classroom. Wow. I want to take a magic class from him to learn how to bring magic into the classroom. Cindy
that'd be
said
fun.
to make this into a movie.
It's a movie.
Mary said, absolutely, she would love to take that class. Cool. Rebecca said, I spent all Christmas break editing and formatting his creations while he was in Taiwan.
She'll never forget that either, forever. I owe you a dinner, Rebecca, even though it's 10 years ago.
Right? Hey, I'm always up for dinner. I don't care if it was 20 years ago. Let's see. Oh, let's talk about, so how is your daughter doing now?
Beth, yes.
Yeah.
You saw just 4 of those paintings.
She's amazing.
She is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you a little bit what she's doing now. It is so filled with wonder. And I'm just going, wow, it's so close to her emotions now, obviously, but she paints out of wonder. And this is so good to have an experience in my life. I didn't want to go through the sad experience of her life,
right.
But she now is finding deep pleasure. And what she's drawing, we are actually writing a book together about the early life of Einstein. And it's a children's book and it's magnificent. She's got about, 20 paintings done already. And she said, Dad, don't show those yet. But the paintings are wonderful paintings. Okay, so we're working on that. And then we're working on surrealistic pictures, paintings. And get on our website. The website's coming up. Instagram, we'll give you a connection. Take a look at those. And so she has that, just surrealistic, interesting. Then she has the cute little ones, which we showed you about the squirrels and the animals. People have asked her, please do these paintings with animals for their children. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Then we found out a few years ago, and she found out that she has MS. which is like an invisible illness. And she says, I want to make that invisible illness visible. So she's doing a whole series of paintings on what do people with MS go through, or any kind of physical suffering that people can't see. So she has a whole series of that. How's that for versatility? I mean, that's amazing, of MS pain pictures, and you'll see some of those. And then you have the cute pictures, the surrealistic pictures, and then these illustrating books. I'm just so proud of my daughter.
Yeah, that's great. So we have linked her Instagram and her YouTube channel in the description box. I'm not sure if Rebecca is going to link them in the chat or not. You're welcome to it.
Yeah.
Check it out. I know now she is also selling her paintings as a side business, right?
This is the time to buy them because she doesn't. She'll say, "You like that painting? I'll paint an original for you."
Yeah.
Okay. And she, she's copying some of them, and so right now these are amazing. So take a look there. Yeah, she is selling these. She has a website coming out very soon,
Right.
and she does need the money because she gave up a job that she loved, teaching children, and because of the medication she's taking because of her MS, she's very vulnerable to COVID. And because of that, she's been unable to work. And this would help her out a lot too.
Did you say she was working with children as well? Was she also working with children? Did you say her job before was with children also?
That's right.
Or?
Yeah, she was.
So your whole family is all about the kids, teaching
and teaching.
Finding the wonder in kids. I love it.
I wonder if I influenced that. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. See what I did there?
Maybe a bit, but they also have they're their own person. They are talking about different subjects. My son is actually speaking next week on another topic, and I thought, well, there you go. But the topics are totally different.
I'm not good at public speaking. It scares me.
You're doing fine.
Oh, Bob, a little secret. I used to get sick before all these lives. I don't anymore, but let's see. Brick Girl said she is so incredibly talented. I love her channel. Yeah, Rebecca, thank you for sharing her channel with us all. We all love it. Cindy said, a wonderful story of overcoming. We need this for our young people.
Yes.
Oh, Rebecca said she's on her phone. Click her links in the description box. Yeah, so you should be able to click the links. After this
okay.
After
Hi? Oh, she's on her phone.
Let's see. Oh, we were talking about your 7th grade teacher. And
yes.
I love that you shared those pictures. I didn't know you were going to share them. I need to watch this back and see my face through this whole thing, because I know some of it I was like really listening, and then I'd see a picture. And
oh, it's so amazing finding these things from the past. Let me just tell you a few more things that inspire my wonder. I'm now just piecing those things together, how that happened. Mm-hmm. One, I looked up an old yearbook and I found me, and my daughters for the first time said, "That's you?" Yes, it's me in 7th grade, and that's my teacher, who I think still is alive, and she lives in the Santa Cruz Mountains in California. She's been retired for years. And I found in the garage, we have a garage, and we have many, many things, but I found 4 books in the garage in my house with the same 4 books that I used to inspire me in writing my poetry. And it's interesting. Well, there's the books that did it. There's pictures of dinosaurs and pictures of animals and all these different things. Mm-hmm. And what inspired me in mathematics was a book. Yeah, I think it was around 7th grade too, and it was a Martin Gardner book, and I still have the 50-year-old copy of this book. Again, I keep these things. Well, it's been a long time, and I had to go down long paths of inspiration and long paths of how these worked in my life. And so it's funny to find those things and still have an influence on my life.
I want to know, let me know in the chat box, did you have a teacher that sparked your curiosity, your wonder? For me, I can remember in 6th grade, I had a teacher Mr. Lomas. He was my science teacher. And he did a lot of things like hands-on and with games. And I remember he created this island called Puka Puka. He was so funny. And and we would have games and you would win this melon from Puka Puka. I'd be getting on the bus after school with a melon just going like he just had a way of making us like wonder about things and wanting to learn. And I just remember loving sixth grade science, and I still love science now. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah, so let us know who helped create the wonder for you. Let's see. What can we do as parents or teachers to ignite wonder in our kids?
Wow. There are so many things you can do. I talk to my grandson, my grandkids all the time. I even told my grandson the story about Einstein and the compass. I said, hey, he's the same age you were. Yeah, same age. And so I gave him a compass. And he's just finding it interesting. So cherished gifts, and that compass actually came from my father and then my grandfather. And so it was very special, a special gifts. But there's so many things you can get them. You don't need a whole bunch of special props, but we give him a lot of things to build with. In fact, he came to this environment last night and helped me set up. And okay, I'll tell you this. Those Richard Feynman, who I mentioned in the talk, and Albert Einstein, love this type of thing. That something would happen over there, or right here, that's caused by something far away, like compass. How does this compass? So it's a magnet. But how does this magnet point north? Well, you say magnetism. No. What happens? Do atoms grab this thing? What's going on in there that make that happen? It's an invisible force. How does that work? Well, to a 5-year-old, this is magic. So we are constantly showing them magic tricks of wondering how this happens. And so I have the 3 kids, and I've got this remote control in my car that causes the garage door to open up. And I have the 3 grandkids stand in front of the garage door, and they say, "Open," and the garage door would open. And so here's my grandson last night, and he was taking apart the computer, and I got to look at the computer, and I said, now this little thing right there goes inside the computer, that causes the remote, causes the pictures to change. I'm way over here, that's causing over there. And he says to me, just like the garage door opens when you push that button. I said, oh, you're getting too smart.
Oh, that's cute.
So just give them mysteries and enjoy the journey with them. Now, this is amazing how this works. That you're excited that this is amazing. So get him excited about something and ask questions about it until you provoke their questions. Oh, there's so much to share about how do you do this. And today, I hope you understand, it was just an introduction just to entice you to say, let's do that. Yeah. And there's so many ways to spark that wonder in kids, so that when they go to school, they'll be asking questions and do much better in school than just take in, but they're asking questions. And so you can even start by doing this. You could say to your students and your son or daughter, okay, what questions did you ask today? Because we asked a boring question. What'd you learn today at school? What'd you do at school? Nothing. What'd you ask at school today? If they know you're going to be asking that question. So start just that reversal. But there's so many things you can do. And that's what I want to teach that course. I go, where do I start? There's so many things I do.
That could be amazing. My mind is like, oh, we get this going.
We got to get together.
So why should you ask people questions?
You know what?
You taught me this. I thought this was interesting. Go ahead.
Well, hope I remember exactly what I told you. But
I wrote it down.
I asked my 2nd to 6th grade kids that question. I said, why should you ask questions? And they had all this list. And I wrote them all down, typed them all in a page after page, to be a detective. And they would simply say, to learn things, you know.
Yeah.
And have you ever heard that phrase? Curiosity killed the cat?
Yes, I've heard it.
Well, you know that phrase is false.
Right.
No, wait. No. Not as in false. It's not quoted correctly. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back.
Ah.
Curiosity makes it interesting, makes it more fun. And people just misquote that. Don't be nosy. And
Right.
no, so I had my students do that, and you're going to find out that there are many answers to that, but it sure makes life more fun. You're going to get smarter. You'll enjoy classes more. And one, to me, is the climax of asking questions, because I set every one of my students, second through all the grades, today we're going to talk about your passion project. What are you most interested in? What gets you up in the morning? What do you like to learn more about? What is it? And often they have a list of things. Yeah, but what is it you think about all the time? More than that, video games. Okay, we'll talk about that. What is it that you love? Oh, no, go on. Okay, now, that's the first stage. What do you really find interesting? So interesting, you're going to stick at that for a month or so. Oh, okay. Now, this doesn't have to be their life goal. What's your interest right now? At a younger age, I'm not asking them to find a job yet. It's just, what's your interest right now that you want to know more about? And then we hone that down to an essential question. What's the mystery behind that? And I remember doing things like this. You know, what's your project? Cats. Here's my poster of cats. How do I know when your topic is over? I'll just tell you all I know about cats. See how cute they are? These are my cats. And there's no questions. Nothing they're trying to find out about. Like, why does a cat purr and how does he purr? Why are cats different than dogs? Is there a personality trait here? You know, cats. There's so much you could say about it. There's one student I have, his interest is birds. So every time I teach them, I always show them about 10 more pictures of the strangest looking birds. And he said, yeah, that's why I like birds. Oh, have you seen this one? He's able to name some of these things. So I feed this interest as much as I can. I think what happens is that people have to get over education. They go to school, they have to get out of that until they find their passion. Now, hopefully they will use the writing skills, the math skills, and all these skills to find what the passion is. Okay, now, did I happen to hit upon anything I said before, Casey?
Well, yesterday, was it yesterday we were chatting or the day before? Anyway, when we were talking about it, you said it's a great compliment if you're asking people questions.
Oh, yes.
It means you find them interesting.
That's right, because you ask questions because you're interested in it. Yeah. Ever been around somebody and you just meet them and he spent hours, hopefully not, a long time talking about themselves. I go, are you interested in me or you just want to talk? You know, if you're truly interested in me, you'll ask me questions. Of course, I should reciprocate and ask you some questions too. And so that's a conversation. And I'm interested in you. I want to ask you questions. Teach your children from the early age to ask other people questions, because that's going to be a great compliment to a new person. What do you do for a living? What have you done? How do you do this? Okay, so now to go back to research projects, I'd always have my students interview an expert. Oh, they say, I don't know an expert. Okay, give me 5 minutes and $5. And I'll find an expert. I never took the money. But I had roller coaster, inventors on the telephone at the school. So you want to talk to a guy right now? Here he is. My second grade student, I can't believe the student did this, actually interviewed one of the scientists who dissected Einstein's brain. I said, You can remember this for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Wow.
So I taught them how to ask. You get them on the line, you better ask your questions. This is the one and only time. And we found out the younger the kid, the more the expert wants to talk. Oh, I'll talk to the little boy or girl. I'll talk to them. You know, if I talk to them, and who are you from, and what are you doing, and why you're here. And so I said, you have a better chance of talking to these experts. Get some good questions. So we talk about interview questions. And again, the interviewing people, conversing with people shows that you're interested, not only in people, but you're interested in the topic.
Love it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brick Girls Go Stateside said, I smiled when he said, you have to get out of the education system to find your wonder again. That is sadly so true, at least in my experience.
I'm going to regret saying that, right?
But, you know, now that I've been sitting here listening, I am so excited for my out school class because I know this little girl loves dinosaurs. And I'm thinking, maybe I can go find like a dinosaur and like go find something to bring to class. And
Well, that shows that you're interested. That's right. There was a boy in one of my classes who was interested in dinosaurs, and we had just bought a gigantic gift for my grandson. It was on sale, but it was a big, it was little cars. I don't know what they're called, matchbox cars.
Yeah.
Little cars like that. Okay. And it was a huge box. All right, it's gasps. And what it is a parking lot type thing.
Oh yeah.
And the car goes down this parking lot. But at the same time, this dinosaur going down this whole thing too. And so I gave them a grandson, but then I showed the box to this other student who likes dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got the nicest compliment back from the mom who said, you took my son seriously. So you found something about dinosaurs. And that just wins points with parents and wins points in your kids because it shows that you're listening.
Right. Excellent. So when you're in, I hope nobody minds me asking, but when you're in your VIP kid class and you're like, so what do you like to do? What do you like? And they're just like, I do homework. What do you do to?
Oh, I get that all the time because they're not used to answering questions like that. And this is what you happen in America too. What you do today? Nothing.
Yeah.
What you studied? Homework. Yeah. So I have to break through that facade and hopefully find. Okay, what are you playing with right there? I'm playing with this. Tell me about that. Just tell me what. So try to find things that they're doing. I
know. I'm like standing on my tippy toes, like it's gonna change something. Like, what do you got down there?
Yes, exactly. So you find what they're interested in. You're not attacking them. Put that away until I cut.
Right.
You find what you're interested in. I see something. Teacher Casey, did you draw that? That's wonderful. I try to find something they're interested in. I'm trying to bridge that gap as much as I can.
Right.
And so I'm looking around, you paint. Oh, let me take a look at your paintings. You play an instrument? Okay. I know you can't go but can you play an instrument for me next time? Play the piano for me. So I quickly grab to their interest because it sounds like I'm being too much of a teacher.
Right.
What you do today in school? I've got to hit them on an equal level. I've got to find their interest. And then I'll start bringing them to, hopefully. If they're an older student, we talk about the quirkiness of the English language. And we go off on that, words that rhyme and words that you accent differently, if stress the syllables differently, changes things around. Today, I did something with the kids, two of these students, and they drove them crazy. I have a whiteboard. Okay, I know you're going to want to know how to do this, but I have a box up here and a tag, like a tag of you get when you go overseas, it's like a tag, and you mark your packages with it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
In the airport. Okay, so it's sitting right there the whole time. Now I asked them, okay, let's write down a phone number. Give me two numbers. And I write them, and I hope there's no fun of them. We're making these numbers up. Okay. Give me a name. Well, not your name, some other name. Okay. This person actually named his car. Okay, race car, got a phone. Hey, where would you like to visit in America? Oh, New York? And I write down New York. So I have these things right here. I bring the box down and open up that thing right there. And written on that thing right there is exactly what he said. Well, let me tell you, one of the moms are going, wow, well, that won some points with the mom. And I'll have to show. I was going to do that today for you guys, but we
Wouldn't
can do it
surprise
in one
me.
of my programs. But these are things that I do that gets their interest. Like, where would you like? I asked a lot of questions in the process.
Yeah.
And so if I did the magic of wonder, I could show you some very simple. Now that's a more of a professional trick, but very simple things that will get the wonder. And how I set it up is I show everybody the same trick through the whole day. And I keep a list of tricks I showed that student, so I don't say the same thing again. And I try to make sure the tricks might have something to do with a lesson, but they may not. But they're general enough that I can sort of tie in a key sentence somewhere in it.
Right.
And so I could tell you my process, and I make sure I jot down on my review of the day the trick I showed them, so I don't do this. You did this before. No, I make sure it's different every time. But there's so many things that I do that they're accessible to any teacher.
Great. Love it. Well, Bob, I don't see any questions in the chat. Thank you so much. This is wonderful.
So I'm talking about questions the whole time. I have no questions.
We had many questions. There were some, and they were questioning each other, so that was good. Rebecca asked a question in the chat.
Yay!
She asked another teacher, is this, let me see, let me open up the chat a little bit. Mary, is this what you did with unschooling? So Mary was an unschooling teacher. So instead of homeschooling, she would take her son, like, they studied bears for months in the woods, and her son's schooling was, done outside a classroom. What he was interested in, she would seek out and find it. And well, why did she would ask him questions, and he would try to find the answers. And
yes.
Yeah, she's got a great.
But see, and a skillful teacher could say, you need to write about that. I think that your uncle, or I think that your grandfather wants to know more about these bears. Could you write him a letter? So what you're learning there
books already.
Right. So you're reading, you're writing. You could tie in those things and teach from the links that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Oh, what kind of tree is that right there? You know how to classify trees? So let's talk about do you hear the birds there? And so, sure, a skillful teacher can teach so many different things. Okay, I'll tell you this. I tested somebody for my gifted education class. I was, giving IQ tests and academic skills. And this one boy I tested.
Mm-hmm.
Says, my boy is gifted, they said. So I tested him. One of the lowest scores academically that I've ever tested. Mm-hmm. One of the highest IQ I ever tested. Going, okay, now something's amiss here. I said, what does your son do with such a high IQ? And he doesn't know these basic skills.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was interested in chess. Okay, so I reached him through that.
Mm-hmm.
This boy right now is one of the youngest grandmasters in chess.
Wow.
And on the way there, he was the youngest boy to go to the Special Math Science Center, one of the youngest boys to ever go to UCLA. Anyway, okay, that was his spark right there.
Yeah.
And we just added more things. He was in my class for a couple of years. I said, we're going to do some writing today. You could write about chess. You do some presentations today. Mm-hmm. You could do that too. But in the process of learning this, his academic scores went up because he was not exposed to many other things.
Right.
Isn't that strange? Mm-hmm. But he had the ability.
Yeah.
And so there's an extreme case of amazing chess player, and he's still amazing right now. I remember the second grader played me a game of chess, and I'm a fairly good chess player, and I lost. I thought, okay, you just passed your IQ test. Thank you.
When I was a kid, I didn't like to read. And this one teacher said, you know what? She doesn't have to read this book. Find something she likes. And that's how I learned to read.
Start there.
They let me read Sports Illustrated. And that's how I learned to read, because I didn't like reading. So they gave me sports, and that's how I wanted to read. So excellent. Well, Bob, this has been great. Thank you for hanging out with me for an hour. And I love this subject. I think everybody needs to hear this. So, hey guys, give this video a thumbs up so that those pesky little analytics will let everybody come to this video and see Bob. All of his links are below, and Beth's links are below as well. And his other daughter, Rebecca, who's always supporting me. I'm going to add her link too. She's got a great YouTube channel that helps teachers out. So I think
And there's many ways to get a hold of me.
right?
Yeah.
I just messaged Rebecca. No, I'm just kidding.
Any way you like.
All right, Bob. Thanks again, and thanks everyone in the chat.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so
Have a
much.
great